Hello, and welcome to the Empowerography Podcast. This is a platform created for women's voices to be heard and a place to share their stories, journeys, and successes with the world for the purpose of helping other women who might be on similar journeys. We are empowering women one episode at a time. I'm your host, Brad Walsh, so kick back, grab one of your favorite beverages, and enjoy the stories. You've got a story to share, a message to inspire, and a passion ready to ignite. But where do you start? The world is waiting for your voice. With From Idea to Implementation, Start Your Own Podcast, you'll get the roadmap to turn your vision into reality. This isn't just a course, it's your launching pad. Step by step, we'll break down the process from defining your purpose to recording your first episode so you can finally share your voice with confidence. Stop overthinking it and start doing it. Your voice has the power to connect and lead. Are you ready to use it? Join the waitlist today. Your podcast journey starts now. The world is waiting. You can find the link to sign up for the waitlist in the show notes. We'll see you soon. Hello there, Brad Walsh here, your host of the Empowerography Podcast. Today, my guest is Jill Schultz. She is a best-selling author, a serial entrepreneur, a disruptor, which I love that term, by the way, a motivational speaker, and a survivor of sexual trauma. Welcome, Jill. I am so happy and excited to have you here. How are you doing?
I'm so good, and I'm so glad to be here with you. As I was just telling you before, you have so many raving fans. Like everybody loves Brad, so I feel blessed to be here today. Thank you.
Thank you for that. I received that, and I am honored to have you here. I know we've been waiting for a while to get you on the show, so it is so exciting to finally have you here to share about the beautiful light you put out into the world through the work you do and all of your story and your journey to get to where you are today. So with that being said, let us dive right in. If you're okay with it, Jill, I'd love to just dive right into things.
Yeah.
And I know through previous conversations that you and I have had, you have one hell of a story. So I was wondering if you'd be okay with starting off by sharing a little bit about your journey of surviving sexual trauma and what it was like for you during those initial moments of realization and the aftermath of all of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad that we're here doing this because my purpose is to really shine a light on this because people aren't talking about this tender taboo topic. But I do want to do a quick little setting of the stage because it is a tender taboo topic. I want to make sure people are protected. So if this is your story and all of a sudden a light bulb goes on over your head and you're like, oh my God, that's my story. Or if this has been a dark cloud that's been following you around for a long time and you're like, oh boy, this is something that I get to deal with, please find somebody to talk to. I need to make sure that you're safe. And so if you don't know where to go, on my website, which is exactly like my name on the screen, JillESchultz.com, there's a resource section and there's Get Help and there's lots of anonymous places that you can go and talk about whatever you need to do, but please be safe. So
thank you for that.
Yeah, no, thank you. I was molested when I was around 3 or 4 years old. And I'm so grateful for the Me Too movement because I feel like it's so much easier for us to talk about sexual trauma. But where my story goes into the tender taboo part is that because of what somebody taught me to do, I was innocently and curiously experimenting with other children when I was just a child myself. And I lived with debilitating toxic shame for 41 years, thinking that I was the only little girl who ever did anything like this. And I'm literally here bearing my soul to save yours. I want you to know you're not alone. I want you to know that you get to get help. I want you to know you get to say it out loud because shame can't live in the light.
Absolutely. And thank you for sharing that, Jill. And again, for starting off the interview with sharing about the resources. I think it's so important because you're right. It doesn't get talked about enough. And honestly, the only way forward through any of this for anybody is to talk about it, to shed light on it, because as you said, it can't live in the light. So we need to bring light to the subject and have these conversations, as difficult as they might be for some people. It's part of the healing process. It's part of the way forward is having someone that you can go to and speak to about it.
Yeah, I'm glad that we're here because we get to bring light to the topic. My goal is to normalize it so that, and people might be shocked that I'm able to talk about it as casually as I can. But the only reason I'm able to do this is because I've said it so many
You've done the work.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
lost its power over me. So I want you to know that if this is your story, you can get to the place where a year ago, if you and I were having this conversation, I'd have been sobbing. But right now, I'm able to just share it and know that, or hope that I get to be that space, giving people permission to talk about it.
Yeah, it's a beautiful gift you're giving the
Thank
world.
you.
So thank you, Jill. Now, how have these experiences then helped shape the Jill you are today, both personally and professionally?
Oh boy, we could talk 2 hours about this. There were 2 areas of my life that I was seriously impacted because of my toxic shame. And one area was in relationships with men. A man would walk in the room and look at me, and I would immediately look down. And it took me a long time to figure out why that was. And I finally realized it was because I didn't want a man to see me, because I thought if a man knew what I had done, how could he love me? And now I'm like, how can he not love me? I'm amazing.
What a beautiful transformation.
Yeah, God, and let me tell you, it feels so good. I don't know. Do you swear on here? Because I sometimes
Yes,
you
yes,
do.
yes.
Okay, noted. And then the other area of my life that it really affected me was in business, and it's the self-worth of knowing that I get to have success. And I always felt like I belonged to this organization called EO. It's Entrepreneurs Organization.
Okay.
I was in their accelerator program, which is businesses that have done minimum 250 under $1 million. And I would sit in a room with these people and think, I'm the dumbest person here. Like these people are brilliant. They're creating these amazing businesses. And I had such imposter syndrome about my trauma. So those are the 2 areas that I would say have impacted me personally and professionally.
Yeah, but you've done the work. So you're able to come out the other side of it. And listen, I mean, just because we've been through stuff and overcome it doesn't mean that those things still don't creep in every once in a while, but it's about knowing how to turn the volume down much quicker when it does arise now.
Yeah, I love that you brought that up, because I've done a lot of transformational work. I've done landmark education. I did a leadership program, and through that leadership program with Hardcore, I did their PhD program. And in those programs, one thing that I've learned is how to take my emotions out way more quickly than before. Like before, I would be on that treadmill, that thought treadmill going over and over in my head. Like we all get that loop going. And now I'm able to be like, chill out, man. Really not about you. That person didn't mean to almost cut you off on the freeway. I promise you, they're not looking to get into an accident today.
No.
Right?
Absolutely. But that's what we do. We make it about us. It's a lesson we all need to learn and constantly work on. It's hard. It's hard work.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's hard work.
But when you can get to that place, it almost makes things comical. Like I have a work situation going on right now, and I'm just like, this is not my shit. I'm happy to sit here and help you work through it, but this is your stuff, not mine.
You need to own it.
Exactly.
What would you say has been the biggest or most valuable takeaway or lesson for you through these experiences?
Oh, there's so many. I'm going to share 2. Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And this is, anyway, so life happens outside your comfort zone. You get to look at the hardest thing that you are fighting against, because you've been fighting against it for a long time. And mine was my story. Like I thought, how can I say this out loud? How can I tell somebody? They're going to think that I'm a monster. They're going to think I'm a pedophile. And I was just a little girl when all this was happening. And the beautiful thing that I came to was actually saying it out loud. The level of compassion and kindness and understanding and love that was on the other side of me sharing my story to this day can bring me to tears. So I need people to know you get to look at that one thing that has been holding you back, that one thing that's constantly nagging at you. You get to face it head on, and you get to say, you don't own me anymore. And you get to find somebody to talk to about it, because shame can't live in the light. And the more that you talk about it, the more you can get to a place like I am and just be able to have this conversation without being in hysteria, because it's so painful, because it was so painful to get to the other side. But the other side, Brad, is magical. It's so magical. I know we're going to talk a little bit about my book, but I wrote a book called Liberated, Releasing the Dark Cloud of Shame. And I named it that because I had this shame cloud that was following me around everywhere I went. Like I had this dark, oppressive feeling all the time. I'd go to sleep, it was there. I'd wake up, it was there. And when you live with something like that for 41 years, now I'm like, where's my cloud? My cloud is gone. Like it is
It's been
not
replaced by the sun.
there. Yes. Yay. Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Now, surviving what you've been through, which was an incredibly traumatic experience, can you share some of the unique challenges you faced during your journey to recovery and healing and how you managed to overcome them?
Yes. One of them is saying it out loud, like we just talked about. I really need people to understand whatever fear you have made up around how people are going to perceive you when you share your story is a lie. It is such a lie. And being able to finally be brave enough, and you get to be brave and courageous. This is not, it is work, people. I'm not saying that this is an easy road. This is work, but you are so worth doing the work to heal. But just getting to that place where I was like, okay, I get to say it out loud, and having that feeling of relief of letting that go was definitely a huge step that I took in my healing for sure.
Yeah. The work, though, it's so important to reiterate that again and again, because it doesn't get done without the work. You can't bury it. I mean, you can bury it, but it will manifest in other ways. It will manifest in health problems and all the other things, but it will definitely come back and bite you in the ass.
Yeah.
You need to be able to sit down and realize that you have the work to do.
Yeah. I was watching this yesterday. I had a massive breakthrough because I'm doing some deep manifesting work right now with Regan Hillier on Mind Valley.
Yes.
$199. Like people
join. Mind Valley's awesome.
Yeah.
I love it.
And this manifesting program in itself is just like mind blowing. But I felt led, and I follow divine guidance a lot. Like my intuition is leading me to the places I need to go in order for me to create and manifest the beautiful life that I get to have now. And I found this woman yesterday. Her name is Abby something. I'm sorry. I can't remember. But she said that in life, things will keep showing up for you in the same way because that's the trauma that you need to go back and look at. And so that's when I had this massive breakthrough yesterday, because I'm like, why am I so driven? Why am I so motivated to do this? And I'm going to get real and raw with you for a second. And I haven't talked about this yet because it was just such a huge thing yesterday. So I talk about the day that I had toxic shame. I got caught in the closet with a kid. And the adult that found me said, little kids who do that go to hell. So that was when my soul fragmented. I love it. Liz Blanding talks about soul fragmentation.
Yes.
And that was the day that my soul fragmented. And that was the day that I took this toxic shame into my soul. And I don't blame the adult for what they said to me. There was no manual 46 years ago that was going to prepare them for what lay on the other side of that closet. So I have gotten clear with that person a long time ago. But yesterday, what I realized is that I have felt like a bad girl for years and years and years and years, bad girl, because at that moment, that's my soul fragmentation was, you are a bad girl.
Yeah.
And so and this is going into the love part of my life too, because right now I know that I deserve to have the most magical relationship, and I'm calling in this beautiful man. So if anyone out there knows him, my contact information on my website. But I realized that I'm so driven and so motivated to get this message. Part of the reason I'm so motivated and driven to get this message out there and to help people is because it makes me feel like a good girl. That was just like yesterday. I was like, what? It was probably the biggest breakthrough I've had in a long time, because I know that there's been one thing that has just been like holding me back from really letting all the abundance in. And that breakthrough yesterday was just like,
the ground just opened up.
It did. So even though 5 or 6 years ago, I got to a place where I finally, I didn't love myself till I was 51 years old because of my trauma. Even though I got to the place where I love myself and I have forgiven myself, there's still work always to do.
Always. It never stops.
No, but now that I'm on the other side of it, it's not as daunting. It's not as heavy. It's not as painful. It kind of is exciting a little bit, even though it's work. It's like, all right, here we go. Here's the next level. In the transformational world, we call it the onion. There's always a layer of the onion to peel back. I don't really care for the onion, but it is there. It is there.
It's got to be done.
Yeah.
So, Jill, what resources did you have available to you when you were going through your struggles, and who did you have to lean on?
Yeah. I didn't really start doing any of the work until I was 33 years old. For me,
Okay.
sexual trauma was like a wave. It would come and it would go and it would come and it would go. I remember I'd forget. I'd remember I'd forget. And I think that's a protective mechanism that I had. And I don't know if that's the same for other people, if they experience it the same way, but that's how I experienced it. But once I turned 33, it's so funny because I joined Landmark Education. If you don't know what Landmark is, it's a transformational program. It's really about when you're pointing your finger at somebody else, there's 3 pointing back at yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So take fucking responsibility for your life.
Yeah.
So I was doing Landmark Education and I had just started my business, my event business, and I had met this wonderful group of girls and they brought it to my attention that I wasn't connecting with men. And so I started going to therapy the same time that I was doing Landmark. And let me tell you, doing those two together sped up my healing by 1,000 times. Oh yeah, it was amazing how many breakthroughs I got because I was doing the transformational work along with doing the therapy. So that was kind of my first step into having support around my trauma. Was I had to get brave enough and courageous enough to know that it was time to stop messing around. It was time to take responsibility. It was time to look at what was holding me back and face it head on. So I've had 3 therapists in the 41 years that I've done my healing, actually now 46. Mm-hmm. And that's really where I got my support because I still wasn't talking about my story. I was talking about it in therapy, but hell no, I wasn't going to be talking about it to Susie McGee next door because there was still so much shame around it.
Yeah, a lot of work to do still.
Yeah. Sure. And I'm doing this right now because I want to collapse time for people. I don't want you to get to be 56 years old and be struggling with the secret that you've been carrying for your whole life, thinking that you're the only. Trust me, you're not special. You're not the only person with that secret. And I say that glib, but I promise you that you're not the only person that has your secret. And you think that you are. But you get to talk about it. You get to know, you get to normalize it. You get to know that you're not alone.
Exactly through what you're doing, you're giving others a permission slip to stand up and share their stories as well.
God, I hope so.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's important, very important work. Now, what motivated you, aside from your experience, to dedicate your life, your work to this cause and the work you do with other survivors to help other survivors?
I'm laughing right now because I did not choose this. I did not choose this. Yeah. I had been praying for my purpose for a long time. And I was in my hardcore leadership, the transformational program that I was in. And I literally had a massive meltdown in front of 100 people. And I'm like, I don't fucking know why I'm here. I don't know why I'm here. And the next day I went into that class and I was like, oh, I get to share my story. I get to vulnerably share my story. So this was all God. And I don't know if you believe in God, universe, source. I don't know what you believe in. Please don't turn off because I call God, but that's what it is to me. And God was just like, yeah, this gets to be what you do. So that's why we're here today talking. I finally surrendered into what it was. And it literally was coming to a place of massive surrender to do this.
Yeah. Trusting and allowing. It's a big, it's part of the hard work. It is not easy to trust and allow and to let things flow how they are meant to flow. And it's an incredible gift when you can say that you didn't even choose this. You were chosen to do this work.
Yeah.
It's powerful.
Thank you. I wrote down a long time ago, I was watching Oprah and I had written down one time, I want to be part of something that's bigger than myself. I wrote that shit down. Be careful what you wish for. Be careful what you put out there.
Yes, absolutely. The universe is listening and it will give you what you ask for.
Yeah, I pretty much manifested this myself.
How has your experience with overcoming the challenges influenced your approach to helping others remove shame and find abundance?
Because I know what it's like on the other side. Because I know that the sun has shone through the dark cloud. I love that. I'm going to do that, Brad.
Yeah, absolutely.
The sun has
Please do.
My cloud. And I know how magical it is on the other side. And I want that for everybody. I was in so much pain for so long, debilitating pain. And there is another side, and I just want people to know that.
Yeah. As you've mentioned, Jill, shame is a huge part of this, right? For yourself, for other survivors. So how do you guide them to shift from that mindset of shame and scarcity into abundance? What tools do you use to help guide them?
Oh boy, that's a really good question. Honestly, I think right now me just living by example is one of the tools that people get to see. I do have a course that I created, and I don't know if you want to go into.
But yeah, please
Okay.
do share.
Yeah, I created a course, and honestly, this is another God thing. I did not want to be a coach. Like, I did not want to coach. And all of a sudden, because I'm in this space of receiving, I finally know that I deserve to receive. I was terrible about receiving before. I call them my divine downloads. And that's really my intuition talking to me, leading me in the direction of where I get to go to create my abundance. And I got this divine download one morning when I was meditating, and it just said, shed the shame, manifest the magic. And I was like, ooh,
I love that.
That's pretty good. And it's
yeah.
so funny too, because when I was doing I have 3 other businesses. And when I was trying to grow those businesses and I was in this imposter syndrome and not knowing how to do, I feel like I was always like, I don't know how to do this. I'm not smart enough to do this. Once this idea landed, like the content just poured out of me. So it's shed the shame, manifest the magic. And one of the tools that I love right now that I hope is helping people, and I'm giving this away free, so we'll have that in the links. It's module 2 out of my program. I'm giving it away for free. And it's a 2-part process. And so when people dive in to do this, I need them to set aside a good chunk of time, because I want you to do both of these exercises at the same time. It's important to do them both at the same time. But the first one is uncover your shame. It's a video that I've created, and it's a series of questions of really figuring out what you're ashamed of and going really deep into what you're ashamed of. For me, my shame started when I was 3 years old, when I was molested. Then it hit me again when I was starting at 7. That's when I was experimenting with other kids. Shame hit me again. When I got caught, shame hit me. We haven't even talked about my eating disorder. Shame hit me there. Shame hit me when I wasn't communicating with men. So all those, that shame had all these different legs to it. So in this exercise, I take people through questions to get them to really expand on all the levels of shame that they feel. And then we get to do this beautiful Hawaiian healing meditation called Ho'oponopono. Have you done that?
I've not. I know what it is. I've heard
it is
of it. I've
so beautiful. In fact, I was still struggling with a couple parts of my shame, even last summer. And my therapist and I did this healing practice, and it finally released me from the last part of what I was feeling. I'm giving that as a gift because I want people to be able to sit down and look at what they're afraid of or what has been holding them back, and then start the process of releasing that. So that's one of the tools that I have that I'm sharing with people.
Beautiful. And so how long is the course, Jill? The whole course in its entirety?
It's probably about 3.5, 4 hours, but it's at home, at your own pace, because what I know to be true is people that have toxic shame like I did, you don't want to get on a coaching program on a Zoom and be showing your face. So this is a series of videos that I've done that you get to go through at home, at your own pace. I need you to be safe and protected, get support around it. That's the shed the shame part. The manifest the magic part is probably about another 2.5 hours. But that's the fun part. That's when we get to create our life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we'll put the link in the show notes for that when your episode's released. Absolutely. Many survivors struggle to believe they deserve love, as you have shared, and love and abundance. So how do you guide them to shift from a mindset of scarcity to one of abundance?
I think I'm going to say again, I think it's just watching what I've created and living by, and having people see that because I've done the work, I'm calling in all this beautiful stuff now. Yeah.
All the stuff you deserve.
All the stuff I deserve. So I'm coaching with a couple of people. I'm coaching with Regan Hillier. We talked about that already. And I'm coaching with Amanda Francis. Do you know Amanda Francis?
Amanda Francis.
She wrote the book called Rich as F, and she's a manifesting queen. And I love what she said. She said that our desires are our guidance system. And everything on our heart was given to us by God, source, universe. and you get to have those things. So whatever you truly want, whether it's huge, like you should see my vision board. I have yachts, private jets. I'm not kidding you. I'm looking at it right now.
Go big or go home.
Exactly. But those are the things that I want. I don't want a fishing boat.
Yeah.
That's not on my heart. You might want a fishing boat. Those things were specifically put in my heart by God. And I get to do everything every day to realize I get to have those and then listen to the cues that lead me to achieving those things.
Beautiful. I love it. What have been, aside from the breakthrough you just mentioned about yesterday, what have been some of the most rewarding moments or breakthroughs that you've experienced while supporting survivors?
Okay. So when I was surrendering into this, I'm always studying manifesting because it lights me up. So much fun. And God, source, universe loves for you to test this. And so I said, there were some legal things that were coming up around whether or not I was going to tell my story. And I was like, oh, hell no, God, I'm not doing this if I'm going to be put in this kind of a situation legal. And I said, you know what? If I'm supposed to do this, I want to hear Sia Unstoppable. And it took a couple weeks for me to hear that song, but there was a very pivotal point in when I was starting to write the book and how much I felt like I could say without me putting myself in harm and danger. And it was dark. I went into the darkest place I've ever been in my life. I'll share because I talk about it in the book. I had talked to an attorney and I was told that as a child, I could be registered as a sex offender and that I could be charged as a felon. And so I'm like, no, God, I'm not doing this. There's no way. And so I went into this really dark place and I'm like, okay, I live by the beach. And that's one of my joys is being in nature and being at the beach. So I'm like, I need to get grounded. I need to go to the beach. Guess what fucking song played on my way to the beach?
Sia
Unstoppable. Yeah. And my girlfriend who knew the relevance of that story also called me within a 20-minute drive and said, I just heard Sia Unstoppable. So that was also part of me surrendering into all of this. I'm like, okay, God, if this is what you want for me to be doing, you figure it out. This is your stuff. This is not me. Because it really isn't me. Like I'm just the vessel that all this is coming through. So I'm like, if you want me to do this, you figure it out. And if God didn't smooth that runway out. So that was something really powerful for me. And I hear that song now and it's kind of my anthem.
Yeah.
So that was a big thing that happened through the book. I mean, through the whole thing for sure.
Yeah. I've realized in my spiritual journey and the work I'm doing, the how is not for us to figure out.
So hard.
It is, but it's not for us to figure out. We need not worry about that. Again, it goes back to the trusting and allowing and leaning into it.
Yeah.
Don't worry about the how. That will get done.
Yeah.
It's not our job to worry
about. Surrender.
Yes. What coping mechanisms have you developed that help you navigate your daily life and maintain your mental health?
I'm in the wine industry and I also sell tequila. So a glass of tequila is definitely something I enjoy. Or having a beautiful glass of wine with a meal, that is just magical to me. But for me, music and getting out in nature, I have this area that I love to hike around where I live, and it just fills my soul. In fact, the other day, I had another really big divine download about what this gets to look like. And I'm walking and just crying because I'm so filled up with the possibility and the hope and the excitement about what I hope to get to do for people. People were probably like, what is wrong with this girl?
What is wrong with this
woman? And they were just such happy tears. Like I was so overwhelmed, I couldn't contain them.
Yeah. Tears of joy.
Tears of overwhelm.
Release.
Yes.
Love it.
Yeah.
So other than those things, how else do you practice self-care? And what advice would you give to other survivors about taking care of themselves?
That's so important. And I talk about that a lot. My self-care practices are definitely being out in nature, hiking, all that kind of stuff. Music, I'm obsessed. Like nothing makes me happier than being at a concert and losing my mind in the music. Like it is such a release for me to be able to do that. And also one of the things I talk about in the course is my morning practice and my evening practice. I'm meditating a lot. First thing, when you get up in the morning, do not pick up your phone and look at what other people are saying to you. If you're going to pick up your phone, put on a meditation or something like that. That gets you in the space of abundance and overflow, and start your day. Because with manifesting, it is 80% inner work, 20% outer work. So I get to do my inner work first thing in the morning. It's where I get grounded. It's where I get a lot of my divine downloads too. If I can be in a space of just being open, and I'm terrible at it. I got to tell you, I'm terrible at meditating. My mind is all over the place, but I finally just been like, okay, this is just how I get to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, those are some things. And figure out what is the one thing that just gives you absolute bliss and joy. And whatever that thing is, that's your self-care. Go do that.
Yeah. But it's important to get that routine in, whatever that looks like, whether it's going for, or start out with a meditation, going for a walk to get out in nature, get out in the fresh air, get grounded, come back, journal, whatever that looks like for you. But having a routine, I think, is important. Very important.
Yeah, absolutely. And keeping your promises to yourself.
Yes, for sure.
It's huge.
Absolutely.
It's huge. Yeah. And I'm working on that right now with my workout routine, really staying in integrity with my workout routine, because if we don't have our health, we don't have anything. And when I get up and I do my workout, I feel so good the rest of the day. It's just like, you're good today. Good girl.
Yes. Yeah. And that's another thing I think is great to mention too, is celebrating those little wins, no matter how small or big they are. Because as human beings, we tend to not celebrate the wins. We tend to get the list of things done. As soon as you finish one, it's on to the next. No, we need to slow down, take the time to celebrate. As you just said, hey, I did my workout today, or I've done it 5 days in a row. Way to go.
Yep.
Like you should be
You should go shopping.
Things. Yeah, absolutely. What message do you have for allies who want to support survivors of sexual trauma?
Do not enable them. Don't do the work for them. Don't set up their appointments for them. Just be there to listen and inspire and hold that space for them. Because if you're the one doing the work for them, if you're setting the appointments, all that stuff, it's kind of like when you pay for a coaching program. I feel it's important to pay for a coaching program, because then you're invested in the work that you're doing.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the same thing with enabling people and doing the work for them. If you're doing the work for them, they're not committed to doing the work themselves. So they have to get to that place. So just holding that space for them and loving them and supporting them and telling them it is going to be okay.
Yeah. And sometimes that's just sitting with them. You don't even have to say anything. Yeah. It's just being there, being present with them. For
Nothing
sure.
Nothing like a good hug. Oh,
there you go. Right? Yes, absolutely.
The best. They are.
What changes would you like to see in society regarding the understanding and handling of sexual trauma?
Yeah, we get to normalize the conversation, because what I did as a little girl is quite common. I'm sure many people that are on this, listening to this right now, are going, oh my God, that's my story too. It's so much more common. So we get to normalize it. We get to talk about it. We get to start having these conversations. The other thing that I would say, and this is kind of going a little bit deep, I've coined the phrase age dysmorphia. So remember when you were 5 years old and you were hanging out with some kids, and then one of the kids was 8 years old. You're like, oh my God, they're so old. They're so old, right?
Yeah.
So I want people who have been, because this is a cycle, and this is why I forgave the person who hurt me a long time ago. Like even before I started doing work around it, I forgave that person, because I know whoever hurt me, somebody hurt them. Okay. Yeah. So with age dysmorphia, I want you to realize that it was probably a little kid too, who you just thought was like an adult because they were a little bit older than you. Yeah. Instead of thinking, oh my God, I was molested by an adult. Maybe you were. I'm sorry if that happened to you. But if it was a child, please have some, this is so hard to even say. It's hard to wrap your mind around it. But I hope that people will start to have compassion for whoever hurt them, because somebody hurt them too. And we get to break that cycle. And that's one of the ways that we get to break the cycle, is by having that knowledge and that understanding.
forgiveness is such a huge
Huge
part of
part.
that healing
Yeah.
process. And like you said, the forgiveness, it's not even for them,
No.
it's for you, because they don't know if you've forgiven them or not. If they're not in your life, they have no fucking clue whether you've forgiven them or
Yep.
not. The forgiveness is for you to take that weight off your shoulders so you can move forward a little more
Yeah.
freely.
It's like taking poison and expecting the other person to die,
Yeah,
or
exactly.
pushing a
Exactly.
boulder up a hill. When you have that unforgiveness in your heart, it is holding you back from all the other things, because it's the one thing you're focused on is that person hurt me, that person hurt me. And it's kind of that loop we talked about earlier going through your head. When you're playing that loop, you don't have time to create another loop of abundance and healing and freedom.
Yeah, for sure. Love, joy, all the things, for sure. How do you use your story to empower and inspire others who may have gone through similar struggles, similar experiences?
I'm bearing my soul to save yours. Like, I'm vulnerably sharing this tender taboo topic. My therapist called my story next level. My trauma is next level. And so I'm vulnerably sitting here talking about it in the hopes that I'm giving you permission to talk about it. That's my hope, that by me doing this, I'm giving you permission to know that it's okay to look at whatever your secret is. And your secret doesn't have anything to do with sexual trauma. Everybody has a secret.
Yes.
Everybody has a secret. And I love this question on the Uncover Your Shame worksheet that I am giving out, or the video. What is one thing only you and God know?
That's a very thought-provoking
right?
question.
That's what you get to work on. That's where in your life you get to release that secret. So that's what I hope that I'm here to do, is just to give people permission to know that it's your time. Time is now. You are not listening to this podcast by accident.
No.
You are here because you were meant to hear this story today. You are here because you were meant, whether you're like, oh shit, this is in my face. Yeah, it's in your face. Look at it. I'm sorry.
You can't run.
Even though I'm saying this with all the love in my heart, because I know how painful it was to be in that story for so long. I don't want that for you. I don't want that for you. I want for you to,
as you said, you want to collapse time.
Yeah, exactly.
So people don't have to stay stuck in it as long as you did.
Yeah.
What changes do you believe are necessary in society to better support survivors?
Compassion. We get to have compassion, and other people get to step up and be brave and courageous and have this conversation too, because the more that people are talking about this, the less stigma it has, the more people that get to heal. So we get to have a culture of people being brave and courageous and just sharing their stories so that other people get permission too. Because I can't reach everybody.
You're only one person. You can
only reach so many people. So I'm creating a movement here. Like, we get to jump on, and this tribe gets to change the world because we are talking about this.
Yeah. Conversation is the catalyst for change. Yeah. Absolutely. Now, this leads right into, and I know you briefly mentioned your book. Let's talk about your book. Your story, of course, was the inspiration. I'd love for you to speak a little bit more about the book. And can you tell us again the title, what the experience was like for you writing that story, reliving it basically to rewrite it? And was that process cathartic for you?
Okay. The book is called Liberated, Releasing the Dark Cloud of Shame. And we've already talked about why it's that title. And I didn't want to write a book. God wanted a book. So this was part of the surrender process. And this was also going hand in hand with the time when I was hearing that I could be registered as a pedophile and I could go to be a felon for all of this. And so this was such a beautiful, magical miracle that God did. Because I had finally got to this place where I was like, okay, this is my story. I wanted to shout it from the rooftop. I'm like, I saw myself on stage with Tony Robbins and Grant. Like, on my vision board, I am Tony Robbins, Lewis Howes, Oprah Winfrey, Reese Witherspoon. Like, I'm looking at my vision board right now. Fire. Like, I already know. Remember when we talked about the dreams on our heart are ours to have?
Yes.
When I surrendered into this, and I'm like, I just want to get on stage and shout my message. I saw Tony Robbins in my mind's eye, and I'm like, that's silly. And I'm like, wait a minute, whatever's on our heart is ours to have. So watch it. One day I will be, and soon I will be on stage with Tony Robbins. But I digress. So I started just sharing my story to everybody and anybody. I was in this community, this safe community through my leadership program. And as I was sharing my story, I got, oh my God, that's my story too. That's my story too. So the book, I wrote the first and the last chapter. The book is all these other people who God delivered to me on a silver platter with a red bow, that most of them are anonymously sharing their story in the book. But the book is in sections. The first section is people like me who acted out with other children when they were little kids themselves. Then I have stories of people who have forgiven. And we talked about how important that is. And forgiving is not letting them off the hook. It's to let yourself off the hook and move along. My therapist wrote a chapter about how to talk to kids so that they're not targets, and how to, if your child has been abused, what to do, what steps to take, what signs to look for. And then the last part of the book, there's a chapter in there that's just heartbreaking. This woman, her daughter started being molested by the father as an infant. And so this woman vulnerably shares about her struggle, her court struggle to get her child away from the father. So if you have a situation like this, I hope that this particular chapter brings hope to people on how they can move through that. And then the last part of the book is really, in my hope, inspiring with people's stories who have really thrived after dealing with trauma. The book is a hard book. I'm not going to lie. It is a challenging book to read. You don't have to read the whole thing. Each chapter is not dependent on the other chapter. If one chapter is triggering for you, I encourage you to look at why it's triggering, but you can skip to the next chapter, and always make sure that you're protected while you're reading. But I'm really proud of the book. And like I said, it's not my book. In fact, I have it right here. I look at it and it's so weird to me because
that's awesome.
I wrote a book. I'm like, and I told my dad this. I'm like, Dad, it's so weird. He goes, you didn't write a book. God wrote a book. I go, because I feel really detached from it. I feel like, what is this?
I love the cover.
Yeah, thank you. My assistant designed the cover. She's amazing.
Very nice.
Her name is Mai, and she's amazing.
So we'll put the link in the show notes again.
Oh, and if you join the course, you get the book for free. I'm giving that away.
Oh,
digital
book. There you go. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. Jill, what is one of the most important things you've learned in your life? And what was your life like before you learned it? And what was your life like after learning it?
Life happens outside your comfort zone. Seriously. Like, you get to look at that one thing that is just nagging at you. You finally get to look at it. And before, my life was hard and hurt and pain and all that. And now my life is hope and inspiration and desire and abundance and gratitude and all those things. Magic.
What is an unexpected blessing or occurrence in your life that you're grateful for?
That I finally surrendered into this. This is why I'm here. And it took me till I was 51 years old to figure out my purpose. And I desperately wanted my purpose. I love my businesses. I'm very blessed to have the businesses that I have. But I was always going like, why am I here? Not fulfilled. And so when God slapped me upside the head and was like, here you go, I'm just so grateful that now I'm so grateful that God chose me to do this, because it's a blessing for me. And if you can get to the place where you can see the gift in your trauma, that's beautiful.
I think it's important for us to take the gift out of every situation that we've encountered, because there is a gift there in every single situation, but it's not easy. Again, it's hard to step outside of that and look in and be able to pull that gift out to use it to move forward.
But I think that you have to specifically choose to do that, because you can be in victim all your life. And that's one thing that I talk about in the course is taking, stepping out of victim and taking your own life back and being responsible for your life. But I think that in any situation, if we can say, okay, why is this happening? And what is the gift in this? Then it can show itself to you. But if you're not willing to do that, you're not going to be in an open receiving place to see the gift in it.
Yeah. And we always have a choice. Yeah. We always get to choose. Yeah. When your life has had the biggest impact on you, and why?
You asked me that, and I saw the questions before. Honestly, I don't know. Like, I've had so many powerful people in my life that have been God just placing them for me to, when I was talking earlier about my businesses and how I wasn't able to scale and the imposter syndrome, I think that there was two sides to that coin. I think one side was me not feeling like I was worthy. I think the other side was God continually shifting me to get to where I am right now. So there were a lot of people that were strategically placed in my life to help move me into, I see it as a staircase.
Yeah.
And so I don't know that any one person has truly impacted me like that, but there's been a lot of people along the way.
Yeah. They're all part of it.
Yeah. They've all just been angels that God's been like, "Boop."
You need this person at this time. You need this person at this time.
And so much gratitude for having those people show up for me.
Yeah. What do you think your unique skill set or superpower is that's helped you become successful?
Grit and bravery. Like I'm like a dog with a bone. And somebody years ago, I had a friend tell me that, and it was not a compliment at the time. Now I feel like it is, because honestly, in order to be successful, and I'm on the business side of things right now. In order to be successful, you can't quit. And especially with entrepreneurs, there's so many ideas that go through my head. Like, you do not want to be in here. Seriously, I have so many inventions that I'm doing and all the things. But it's the follow through. It's the being committed, because a lot of times people quit 3 Feet from Gold. I don't know if you've read Big Reed's book, 3 Feet from Gold.
No, I haven't.
Yeah. But a lot of times people quit right before the magic occurs. So you got to stick with it. You got to put your head down. You got to be just unreasonable. If you know that this is what you're supposed to be doing, if it's, oh, maybe this is something I should do, but if it's something that you should do. So I would definitely say grit and bravery are, for me, my superpower.
Yeah. There's a great meme, and I love it. It's one of my favorite memes on the internet. And it's these two gentlemen. They've both got pickaxes. They're digging in the mines. And one of the guys is about halfway back in the shaft. And you can see that the diamonds are like a ways off. He's still got a lot of work to do. And the guy below him he's just on the other side of the wall are the diamonds, and he throws the axe down and walks away and gives up. You never know how close you are. So don't give up. Giving up is the only failure.
Yeah. I got full body chills, because you never know when that one person's going to show up that's going to change your life.
And it only takes one person. Absolutely. Yeah. How do you define success? What does that word mean to you?
Oh, God, I looked at these questions before. Success to me. Okay. So I did the passion test. Have you done the passion test?
No.
It's fantastic. In fact, part of the passion test was in alignment with, I want to be part of something that's bigger than myself. And I stole some of Jack Canfield's answers because they align with me. But I've done it twice now. It's amazing when you do the passion test, how your life starts to line up. It's bigger than writing down goals. It's way bigger than writing down goals. And there you come up with 5 specific things, and you should do the passion test every 6 months, because things change. But success to me is I live in I have massive abundance all around me. I think we just froze. Oh,
no.
Okay. I have massive abundance all around me in all areas of my life, with plenty of time to just be. I love that I'm self-employed. I love that at 1:00 in the afternoon, if I decide I want to make spaghetti sauce, I can go in my kitchen and make spaghetti sauce. I love that I get to sleep in till 8:30 or 9 every morning, and I'm not sitting at a cubicle. Like, abundance, massive abundance, with plenty of time to just be.
Beautiful. What does the word empowerment mean to you?
Empowerment, I put that on myself. I'm not projecting that to other people. It's me giving myself permission to be the most beautiful, authentic, magical being that I'm able to be.
Beautiful. Okay, we're going to jump into a rapid fire section here. So the next grouping of questions just be 1, 2, 3, 4-word answer type thing.
Oh boy.
You ready? Okay. You got this. You got this. How would you describe yourself in one word?
Brave.
What is your favorite self-care practice?
Music.
If you could teach the world one thing, what would it be?
Courage.
What's one thing you want but cannot buy with money?
Oh, Not what I want, but what I feel like is something you can, and that's love, self-love. I have it now, but yeah, self-love.
Okay. What is one thing you love about yourself that is not related to your physical appearance?
My courage.
Beautiful. That concludes our rapid fire section. Now back to our regular program.
You made me nervous.
I threw in a bonus question that I did not send you ahead of time.
Okay.
If you could take one feeling or one belief, bottle it up, and give it to people, what would it be?
Freedom, peace, freedom.
Okay. If you could step into my shoes, what question would you have asked yourself that I didn't ask you?
What is one thing people don't know about me?
Go ahead.
I like my popcorn just a little bit burnt. I do. Just a little bit burnt.
Okay.
Never heard that one before, did you?
No, and I did not expect that. If you had the opportunity to sit down and have a 1-hour conversation with one woman, any woman in the world, who would it be and why?
Oprah. And I get to do that. That is coming. And because of her exposure, because it will help me get my vulnerable share out there so people know that they get to do it too. Yeah.
Love it. If you could go back and give your younger self one piece of advice, what would that piece of advice be?
Look at your trauma early. Don't wait until you're 33 years old. You get to do the work to heal. You're worth doing the work to heal.
Yeah. Lastly, Jill, if you were to deliver your last 30-second speech to the world, your tribe, your corner of the world, your people, what would that last 30 seconds sound like? What words of wisdom would you impart?
I mean, just a lot of the things that we've already said. You get to be brave and courageous. And whatever that one thing that's been holding you back for your life, or maybe you're younger and you're looking at this, whatever that is, you get to look at it, because I promise you the reaction that you're going to get by sharing your story and saying it out loud on the other side of that is love and compassion and kindness and understanding. And from that place is where you get to heal and you get to create this massive life that you were meant for, because everything on your heart was given to you by God and you are worthy of having it and you get to have it.
Beautiful. What a wonderful way to end the interview. Jill, thank you so much for taking and making the time to be here with me today. It was an absolute honor and pleasure to have the opportunity to sit down and speak with you and to share in your journey. Thank you for your vulnerability. Thank you for sharing your story. And I'm grateful to have you as a member of the Empowerography community. I appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate you, Brad.
Once again, my name is Brad Walsh, host of your Empowerography podcast. Today, my guest has been Jill Schultz. She is a best-selling author, a serial entrepreneur, a disruptor, motivational speaker, and survivor of sexual trauma. Thank you so much, Jill. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. Thank you very much for listening to this podcast. If you haven't yet, please be sure to subscribe, rate, review, and share with all your friends. You can find me at visuphoria.ca. Follow me on Instagram at Empowerography Podcast and on Facebook at Empowerography. Please join me next time for another inspirational story from yet another amazing woman.